while I got you, Howard, I just want to give you one moment of shit about your podcast rants.
Look, let me explain it again so everybody understands about podcasts. I'm not anti-podcast. I'll go on and listen to or view a video if I want instruction in, let's say, playing a song on the guitar, if I want instruction in how to draw a picture, if I want some sort of information that is very specific to me. The thing, again, I'm referring to is, if you want a career in broadcasting where you make money as a broadcaster, the only worthwhile way to do it, you're not going to make a living in podcasting. This
is where I want to go after you.
Hold on. Let me finish my statement.
All right.
Now, Adam, my buddy there, Adam Carolla, swears to me he's making a living, but between you and me, I believe him. He had a career in regular broadcasting, so he brought over some audience. He's not the typical example. He had a career in broadcast, and believe me, and I go to dinner with Adam.
Who pays?
I do. I didn't see him whip out the wallet or even attempt to do it, which shows you how much fucking money he has in the podcast.
Oh, no.
And secondly, with the podcast, he actually goes around and does them in clubs and does live club dates and then puts it on his podcast. That's where he gets a lot of the money. And thirdly, yes, he does have sponsors and stuff, but he's had the unique experience of being a regular broadcaster who brought an audience over with him. That's how he got known. So he's a rare exception. I'm telling people, if you're doing a podcast, they get lost in the sauce. You don't really have a way of getting a big audience enough to pay as a broadcaster.
Okay, now
you got to go out. No. You've got to go out and get a job as a broadcaster. And then
that's where you're being an old fart.
Fine. Jeff, point to the person making a career off
first,
podcasting.
Let me say, no, here's what I want to say.
Yeah, I know. Guys who make you see free video clips of a podcast.
Can I talk now?
All right, go ahead.
You are the one who destroyed broadcast, and now you tell people you've got to go through broadcast. You pulled the ladder up behind you, man. There is no more broadcast anymore. You, Howard Stern, destroyed it.
No. First of all, let me correct you. Terrestrial radio is still extremely relevant. There are hundreds of millions.
When was the last time you listened to a terrestrial radio station?
I never listened to it.
Right.
But I am not I recognize I'm not the only person on the planet. Terrestrial radio still has millions and millions and millions, into the hundreds of millions, of people with it in their car.
And it sucks.
Okay, agreed on that. But it's still relevant. Secondly, look at movie companies, look at McDonald's, look at they all still advertise on it. That means somebody's listening to it. Secondly, it is true. I went over to satellite and made a very good living, but I did it off of broadcast where I built a very big audience, and I was able to bring over some of that audience to satellite. And satellite is gaining. We have 30, I shouldn't say 30, I think 27 or 28 million subscribers, which is unbelievable business.
But not everybody can be you. Not everybody can go in your path anymore. It's a new path. Last week, Howard, I was at VidCon.
VidCon?
You're kidding. You were at VidCon?
I was at VidCon.
What mask were you wearing?
No. It's not that.
Oh, yeah, I saw you. You were dressed as Batman.
It's 20. No, this is not Comic-Con. This is VidCon. Right. This is 23,000 screaming girls with the fans of these podcasts, of shows.
Yeah, all right. Good.
Pewdiepie.
How much money is Pewdiepie making? How much?
$7.8 million a year.
PewDiePie's making $7.8 million a year?
$7.8 million
Who is? Has anyone here ever heard of PewDiePie?
No.
I interviewed Cenk Uygur from the Young Turks on stage.
Please. I know Gallahorn. I don't know PewDiePie.
He's making millions. I'm on a podcast every week called This Week in Google on the Twit Network. Leo Laporte. He brings in about $8 million a year. It's not as big as you.
I don't believe it.
But you can buy
don't
a lot
believe
of
it.
Noodles.
Don't fucking believe there's a guy making a podcast making $8 million a year. Don't believe it. Sorry. Show it to me.
You're telling me these people are lying to Jeff?
Jeff's the only guy who's heard. He named two people so far making $8 million a year. I've never heard of either one of them.
YouTube now has 35
Yes,
podcast.
but who's
with
making
more than
money?
10
YouTube
million
is making
subscribers.
money. YouTube is making the money.
And YouTube shares
YouTube
revenue
takes
now,
my
that's how they
clips
make
and
money.
plays them.
YouTube
I'm
shares
not-
revenue with them?
I'm not sharing any revenue.
Well, yes, you are. With Sirius. This is
No,
why I yell
I'm
at
talking
you
about
and say you should own
YouTube.
your own show
Oh,
online.
you didn't listen to me. Yeah, Sirius pays me a salary.
You should own the show. Why should you share You're the one who brought all the value to Sirius. Why should you be sharing anything with Sirius? This is why I yell at you. You should have your own empire that you own 100% online. Digital would allow you to do that.
All right. Thanks, Jeff. Go call Pewdiepie, really. Call Pewdiepie show. What are you calling mine for? You're wasting your time here. Thanks, Jeff. That's love you too.
Love you.
It's Jeff Jarvis. Everyone loves Jeff. Pewdiepie. Pewdiepie's making $8 million.
I gotta look that up, Pewdiepie.
Pewdiepie's making $8 million. Yeah. Okay. Has anyone here ever heard of Pewdiepie? Well, I'm a broadcaster. I never heard of Pewdiepie. Fucking Pewdiepie. Pewdiepie's making $8 million. There's regular broadcasters ain't making it. Chris Booker's been at this game 9 million years. He ain't making fucking anywhere near it. He's like he's making 200 or 300.
And the station he works for makes tons of money.
Yeah. But Pewdiepie is making $8 million. Hey Booker, if you're listening,
Get on the podcast.
Join Pewdiepie Network. Pewdiepie.
No, the Twit Network is making money.
Twit. Good Lord. Anyway, I'll get back to High Pitch Eric's Periscope account.
When you calm down.
Yeah, when I calm down.
From podcast arguments.
I mean, okay, you want to do a podcast? Fine. I'm not, it's great. It's like college radio. Great. Go for it. I'm just telling you, if you really want to make a living, you got to go out and get a mass audience. And it ain't going to happen on a podcast. Now, why is that such a fucking tough concept? Don't blame me. It's in the facts. And I never heard of Pewdiepie. That's my point. People heard of Howard Stern.
But you know what? I've never heard of some of the people on terrestrial radio.
I didn't develop my career in satellite. Let me tell you something. They got 9 million shows on this satellite radio. Take mine out of the mix. You haven't heard of any of them. You gotta be a hit in regular radio or some major medium.
Some mass media.
And bring over an audience. Aside from me, we haven't seen any of that. So, okay, take me out of the equation. They got, get me the list of every talk show on here, and I guarantee you haven't heard about it unless it's a simulcast from, leave me alone. I got to get out of this discussion. What am I dealing with?
Yeah, Jeff is off the phone, Howard.
I'm talking to retarded people.
Jeff is off the phone. Why are you continuing?
Where's Pewdiepie?
So I just went and looked to see what the fuck Pewdiepie is, because I had to know.
Yeah.
So the guys in the office seem to know who he is a little bit, in the sense that, like, he doesn't he's not a broadcaster of any kind.
Yeah.
He sits and watches video games and comments on them.
Yeah, good.
And so I guess a lot of people follow him, and because he's on YouTube, if you get
That's
X
what I said.
amount
There is niche stuff that if you're like chess, okay? I enjoy the game of chess. Now, I go on and listen to broadcasts about chess. Nobody else does this.
And Pewdiepie just became more known than he has ever been on his own by being mentioned on this show.
Well, Jason said that the thing is that you monetize it when you're on YouTube by followers, and he does have a lot of followers, like millions.
How much money is YouTube giving him?
I don't know. I'd
like to see that contract.
Well, he said Pewdiepie was making 7.5.
8.3.
Pewdiepie has Pewdiepie has 38 million YouTube subscribers. Now, that is pretty impressive.
Yes.
The question is, how much money is... All right, look, I don't care. I'm wrong. Please get off my back with this. Go do a fucking podcast, and you too can be Pewdiepie, okay? What's this? I just been handed a note. Pewdiepie just bought this company. I'm now working for Pewdiepie.
Mr. Blutarsky. 0.0. You're out. Finished at Faber, expelled. I want you off this campus at 9 o'clock Monday morning.